Hello and welcome to today's video. This is RetroMTGA and you are excellent. I am super excited today because a theory that I have been working on seems to be playing out. I love the heck out of Rotpriest, and I kept thinking how cool it would be to remove my opponent's creatures. So I decided to try Golgari, and I think that it has some legs. I still want to mess around with it in standard play. An example of the most recent change, I took out 2 Go for the Throats, and I put in Shieldred's Edict instead. I still have 1 copy of Throat, but I think the Edict will do better at removing those prototype artifacts that I started to run into, and it kind of stuck in my mind, sort of confirmation bias. I was like, darn it, I wish I could remove this creature with my Go for the Throat that I have in my hand, but I can't. So it was a feels bad, but I can't even remember if I won that game or not. But then someone on YouTube reminded me about Shieldred's Edict, and I was like, that's crazy. Why am I not even playing that card? And there's just so many new cards, you know, just like cut yourself a break. Like, you're not going to remember them all. You need to get used to them. You need to sort of file them away in your, brain computer or whatever. And eventually it's just an auto include when you're brewing up a deck or something, and if you're net decking and someone isn't including Shieldred's Edict, then you see that and you're like, they don't know what they're doing. They need to have the Edict. Then you get to have that cool feeling, like you know way better than they do what to do. So that was the most recent change. Let's just go. Like I said, we're in the play queue today, so get ready for some scoops. But you know, I just wanted to not be punished in case, you know, this deck list is frowned upon by the ladder, so to speak. So we'll see about it in the play queue. Okay, so we have all this green mana, and we have Canker Bloom, so that's something. There's 22 lands in the deck. Right after this game, we'll go through a deck tech and I'll show it off. Yeah, let's go. Okay, looks like they're going to play some Golgari or some variation of Golgari. We'll go ahead and play out our forest, see if we can draw into some more basic lands so we don't have to waste our Boseiju. We might actually be playing a mirror match here. Okay, now, so the interesting thing about Blightbelly Rat is if we remove it now, then they don't get to infect us. This is only proliferate at this point. It has to hit us in order to give us a poison counter. Okay. So maybe we should do that. But we can't remove it because we didn't draw the land. So all we have here is Canker Bloom, which they'll probably remove that and then attack us. But you never know. This is Magic. This is the play queue. This is the shuffler. We all have our... okay, so they have the Rotpriest. Excellent. Well, we do not want to be infected. They are guaranteed to have proliferate. I was playing this deck all night long, and I believe I came to it... oh, fantastic. Okay. I believe I came to it independently of this person, or of any person. I didn't do any research on it. And it shows, because look, I should have mulliganed that hand. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So we don't have any land, we don't have any creatures. That is going to be a scoop. We're going to go straight to the deck tech. We're going to learn how to mulligan at some point, I think, hopefully. But it's kind of cool. Just went right up against the mirror. I played against one mirror last night and just went immediately into it. So maybe this deck is catching on. And that feels good, you know, I mean, so what if I can't claim to have invented this deck? If I can't be trusted or relied upon to give the proper information about what I think independently. But the point is that there's a good response in the game to this type of list, and that feels good that I'm kind of got my finger on the pulse, so to speak. Okay, so 2 cut downs, not 4, and that, I mean, 4 would be good, but we got to fit quite a few cards in here. So dig up. If we don't hit our Rotpriest, we can get it, or we can try and you know, smooth out our mana. Oh, so 7 swamps. Takanuma is 8. Boseiju 9. Forest 16. 24 or 20 with the death cap. 22 with the wastes. So not a heavy amount of mana. Could possibly work on that. So dig up is going to help us get some of these cards if we need them. Tamio self-keeping, obviously. Rotpriest, obviously. Both have 4. Tyvar's stand at 3 and not 4 because it'll give you the hexproof and indestructible, but in order for it to be extremely good, you do need to feed it with extra mana. So it's not as good as safekeeping, because safekeeping's extra little avenue is the whole life gain thing. Okay, so Blightbelly Rats are pretty cool because they're great. Get them out, hit the opponent, get them poisoned, and then just start blocking because they proliferate. Drown in Ichor, creature removal with proliferate, of course. Go for the throat. Just amazing creature removal. No proliferate on this one. Shieldred's Edict, amazing removal with all sorts of flexibility there. Cankerbloom, you know, it's good to have a 2-drop, 3 power, 2 toughness fungus with this sacrifice ability. I will say the few times that I was going to proliferate it in order to win the game, because it was just on the battlefield, it was just waiting to be sacrificed and give me that proliferate, the opponents just scooped. They saw it coming. So it's good to have it for its other modes, but you know, it's got the proliferate, so it's in here. Infectious Bite, creature removal with, not with proliferate, but it'll help you get that poison counter going. Unnatural Restoration, mostly going to try and use this to back up our Rotpriest, get it back into our hand, back up onto the battlefield. But we often would use that for Blightbelly Rat as well. Let's get a nice little blocker proliferate action in there. And Infectious Inquiry, we do need to reload our hand. And 3 seems to be the number I've settled on. Could be 4, could be 2. There are a few other draw spells that we could play with, but this one gives the poison counter. Tyvar. You know, Tyvar's been getting a lot of attention recently, just having, you know, dropped on the, well, in the spoilers, but I mean, people started playing with Tyvar in Standard and just love the heck out of him, mostly in Jund, you know, but he is a Golgari creature and he works very well because he can return our Rotpriest to the battlefield, he can return our Blightbelly, he can return the Cankerbloom. You know, he's got it going on. His haste ability is hard to get used to, but once you get used to it, you know, you play the Blightbelly Rat and you just attack, and it's fantastic. So we went over the land. Okay, so that's it. Let's get into a second game here. Hopefully, you know, like I said, we will learn how to mulligan with this list. What happened last game is we had 2 lands, but it was just green. We needed the black mana in there. We just didn't have it. We didn't draw it. And it seemed like a good idea to just go straight to the deck at that point, because they were popping off. And it was cool to see the mirror. Okay, interesting name for our opponent. I don't know that I'm going to actually say that out loud. This seems like a keep right away off the mana, but let's check it. Looks good. Keep. Opponent goes first. Is it the mirror again? Could be. Could be Jund. We have lots of mana going on here. Okay, so we've got the unnatural restoration, so let's just see if we can get Rotpriest out and if it sticks on the battlefield. Okay, still go Glary. If we can get them to play one of their proliferate... Okay, so Rotpriest sticks to the board. That's pretty awesome. Let's play out our Swamp. Let's play out Blightbelly Rat. We can't get through the Aspirant, which I guess was our opponent's plan. Pretty good plan. Can get through it next turn. Oh, they're playing Sultai. Okay. Oh, it looks like they're playing Hello Good Games budget deck, which is cool. We actually highlighted that on the RetroMTGA channel. I think it was yesterday's video. Okay, so we've got a Deathcap Glade. We've got Go for the Throat. We've got Infectious Inquiry. Not terribly familiar with this card here. It's a bird. So you're gonna proliferate, but you have to pay 2. They don't have a lot of mana right now. But I want to be able to get through. I want to land that poison counter. So, you know, which one's worse? This one? Well, we gotta, let's get rid of the bird. Because the scheming aspirant can't kill either one of our creatures. So, yep. Block the rat. Rotpriest gets through. They're poisoned. They haven't got a poison counter on us yet, but it's only a matter of time. They have 2... they could do a fight spell. They've got the Vorak. They could do the card draw, where they have poison counter. Okay, we've got a lot of card draw right now. Maybe. Okay, we played our land out. That's not a mistake. I mean, sometimes that's a mistake, but this is one of the ultimate lands that we have. We've played it out anyway, probably. We could do Unnatural Restoration, but let's save it for the Rotpriest. Okay, let's go ahead and do this. It is at sorcery speed, so we have to do it on our turn. We still don't have any protection, but it's nice to get the Rotpriest, double Rotpriest. Goodness gracious, that is scary. Let's save the rat back for the Vorak when it attacks. Okay, we finally got a poison counter from our opponent. That is their game plan, so they're gonna go for it. Okay, they've got 2 aspirants and a Vorak. We drew more land, which is fantastic. We got all these restorations. This is going well for us, but let's not get too hasty here. Let's not get too hasty. How's our mana looking? We have 3 forests and 3 swamps. We've got forests and swamps. It kind of doesn't matter. So swamp looks really cool, always. Interesting thing about cut down is we can cut down our own rat. We will get the dying trigger off of it, and we will get both Rotpriest triggers off of it. It's kind of insane. But what we would like to do instead is get out another Blightbelly rat, I think. And just threaten all sorts of proliferation. They weren't able to leave any mana up of any amount that would be worthwhile to them. So no attacks. Let's see where they go with this. If they can get corrupted onto us this turn, they do have the ability to start drawing 2 cards for 1 mana, which is sick. It's something that it's a good reason to play Sultai in this poisonous environment. For sure. So they're going to augury here and pick 1. They look at 3, pick 1. They're draining us hardcore. Okay, Voidwing. I forget how that works. When you proliferate. Okay, so we can get poison counters onto us from the Voidwing. Okay, so we kind of... Let's look in our graveyard. We don't have anything in our graveyard. If we start attacking with the Blightbelly Rat, they're not even gonna block, are they? So we kind of should just cut down our own rat. Because if we do that, they'll go up to 5. Then it'll proliferate. It'll go to 6. Then we'll get the rat back. We'll play it out again. Kind of insane. They're definitely going to get their card draw off of it. I mean, we can't attack through. And they're not going to block. Their life total is just... Well, they might... Okay. Let's attack with 1. They might block it because it does have Toxic. So, let's see. They blocked it. Okay. So, we're going to proliferate. Yep. They go up to 4 counters. Then we're going to unnatural restoration our rat. We're going to proliferate. They go to 5. Then we're going to do another rat. The rat we got back. Now we have potentially 8 poison counters on them. Let's hold back in case they do something crazy. We have cut down on the rat at any point. This is an example of thinking outside the box. The Rotpriest is so good because it's anytime any spell targets one of our creatures. That includes our own spells, even our own kill spells. And when the Blightbelly Rat gives us a proliferate when it dies, honestly, why wouldn't we kill it? It's fantastic. Okay. They're going to proliferate with the Vorak because they've got enough lands. And it's a choice with the Vorak. as Hello Good Game explained to all of us in his video. This is nothing to sneeze at here. We're gonna at least get top. We're gonna get, well. Okay, so they could. Yeah, if they attack with the Void Wing, we're gonna get toxic. And they probably, in their hand, what they have is they have the 3-drop that actually changes into a 1-drop once we get toxified. They also have some kind of a way to give us another poison counter. So even if we cut down this Void Wing to try and avoid the toxic, they're still going to have it on us. They're still going to draw the cards, so just let it go. And, you know, they're going to proliferate. They're going to drain us. It is what it is. We just... The one bad thing about this strategy that we just took is that if they have 2 of those draw spells, okay, they didn't have anything, and they're not going to proliferate us either. They're going to wait. We have so much mana that we don't necessarily need to cut this down now. And they have a counter spell. Okay, let's wait. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, so we can proliferate there with both of our rats. Let's attack with both. That's at least up to 7. Then we play Unnatural Restoration, then they counter it. And then we play... Oh, nice. They didn't... Okay, I didn't see that coming. See, that's... sometimes I'm just not seeing it. But you know what? Let's see about that counterspell, right? I mean, we want the rat to die. They could counter it, but why would they? We already got our Rotpriest triggers off of it. So they're probably not going to see it. Right. Right? Okay, damage on the Aspirant. Now we're going to try to proliferate. Seems like they're going to have to counter this. I mean, they have to have the counterspell, right? Reject Imperfections, I think is what it's called. No, they're going to proliferate the Serum Snare. They're going to return the Void Wing. They're going to proliferate. They're really, you know, they think they're in a lot more trouble than they really are because they don't have knowledge that we only have forests in our hand right now. They think that they're gonna go to 9 poison counters and we're just gonna get them. We need to watch out for damage because we're about to take 4 damage. That's 6. That means we have to do some serious blocking. But actually, so they can't really... If this... Okay, are they salty? Did they disconnect? We will have the rat out on the battlefield. We can block with the rat so that they literally cannot attack. It's fantastic. And because we can block with both of our Rotpriests if need be. I mean, we are about to take 4 damage. And they're about to go to 28. We're going down to 6. We need to block both Vorax, at least. And we've got a nice little rat blocker. Yeah, they're not happy. You know, opponent, I get it. But it's not our fault. You're punishing us for things that Arena has done to you. We're not doing those things to you. We're just playing the game, just like you are. We don't rope people here. Yeah. Blight Belly Rat. And I mean, it's possible, maybe I jumped the gun there. It's possible that they were really thinking hard about that. Let's leave both, well, no. Okay, play a forest. Give them some hope. Okay, they could bounce the rat. Then we would need to block with both of the Rotpriests. If they manage to proliferate on us, we're down to 4. They can't get through our Blightbelly Rat. So they need 2 bounce spells at least. Or kill spells. Do they have it? Okay, so yes, I believe I was too hasty in assessing our opponent's state of mind. They do have 9 poison counters. This is literally make it or break it. So I take it back. I don't think they're salty. They just couldn't do it. They couldn't see it. Okay, so this deck just, I think it performed. We got a good number of lands out on the battlefield. They didn't. That was one of their problems. We had ways of preventing them from attacking. I mean, they were draining the heck out of us. This whole unnatural restoration on the rats is fantastic. We had our card draw going on, which really helped us. So I think 3, possibly even 4 copies, which we only run 3. Go for the Throat was instrumental in that. Shieldred's Edict would not have been that great here. They just had a lot of creatures, you know, but at the same time, if you run into some prototype artifacts like the Flesh Gorger, Go for the Throat just doesn't feel good. Okay, so that's our second win for the day. We are at, just for the day, we are at 50% win rate. Because the first game was just a horrible, horrible scoop that should have been mulliganed. Scope. While we wait for the matchmaker to do its thing, I'll just take a brief moment to say thanks to everyone out there consuming this content. It's pretty awesome to be able to make content like this, to showcase this deck, which, you know, I'm going to double down on my claims that I never saw anyone do this before I made it. I'm doubling down, because it's the truth. Whether I'm believed or not, that's kind of not my problem. We have good mana. We lay the Glade down first, which kind of sucks. Well, opponent goes first. All right, we're keeping it. We might be able to draw a land. We did. They have red. Should we go for it? Let's stick with the original plan. Gilded Pinions. Nice ramp, bro. Alright, we have a protected Rotpriest. They could try and take it out with their treasure token right now, and the next turn they would have it. Let's see what they do. Okay. We have a good amount of protection on it. Kemba! Oh, wow, interesting. Okay. Attach. Is that haste? No. No haste. Does cut down still target? I mean, Kemba is currently... Yeah, cut down still works. And they're out of mana. Oh, no. They have a treasure token. Oh, gosh. I think cut down still works. Let's see. No, it doesn't. Okay, so we could have cut down Kemba before they attached it. Okay. This looks like a Mirrodin build. So if we play Canker Bloom and destroy Kemba's equipment, we don't have... Okay, we're just going to play the rat. We're going to leave protection on the Rotpriest. And say go. Kemba 2-drop? Yeah, pretty awesome. Okay. Kemba is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Whoa. These pinions are equip 2s. Rabbit Battery is equip 1. They keep getting treasure tokens. They can do a lot of equipping. They can equip... Wow. Okay. Okay. Well, down to 16. Ooh. And they have no blockers? Doesn't seem smart. So what I'm thinking about here is possibly playing Canker Bloom, you know, and not trying to remove any of these equipments. There's just so many equipments right now that Kemba's always going to be a 3/3, which makes cut down terrible. So cut down is probably for our own creature. We don't have a way to recur it from the graveyard back to our hand yet, but we will, you know. So first things to do is attack with both these creatures because they're not good blockers at all. Get them poisoned. Okay. Leave up protection, leave up the cut down, play the Canker Bloom. And end the turn. Okay, they potentially have that, what people are calling the Goldspan Dragon equipment. They have the Emperor. Whoa, okay. So they're gonna try and kill the Rotpriest real quick. They don't have any cards in hand, which means this is their last ditch effort. They've gotta know we have protection. At the same time, they've gotta try and make us do it. But they're not gonna, they're just gonna go for the token, which is pretty cool. Okay, they're gonna give it first strike next turn. We can at least cut down their samurai. Taking a significant amount of damage here. Okay, so next turn they are gonna give... Okay, they don't have any cards in hand, so we gotta get rid of that. Don't worry, Rabbit Battery stays on the battlefield. Oh, it stays equipped to Kemba. That's interesting. So it was targeting and then it wasn't targeting. Okay, so they don't have any blockers for the Emperor. Oh, boom! We got the Edict, so it doesn't even matter. Oh, gotta love it. Oh, they're all tapped out except for their treasure tokens. They don't have any cards in hand. Let's just do it now. Let's not. Each opponent sacrifices a non-token creature. Each opponent sacrifices a non-token creature. Boom. Bye, Kemba. We never even knew ya. Okay, next to combat. We need the Emperor to die. We will kill the Emperor, and we will head in there for another poison counter. We have Canker Bloom energy. Hey, we're down to 12. This is, I'm not taking it easy. I mean, they've got a lot of those pinions. Okay, they're gone. That Edict was such an epic top deck. All right, so let's not even view the battlefield. We know what went on. We know what happened there. Shieldred's Edict. And what's it called when someone just stacks equipment after equipment? Voltron. Shieldred's Edict versus Voltron is nuts. Okay, so let's just go. I'm gonna check the how long have we been recording. Okay, let's go for another game. I need to take a quick little break. Excuse me, so I'm going to put the deck up on the screen while I do that. The editing on this channel is so minimal. And we are back. Let's go. still have not been able to play Tyvar yet. We haven't drawn Tyvar. If we had drawn Tyvar, we would have played Tyvar. Heck yeah. Okay, so what does everyone think? Is this a deck for the ladder? I mean, we're roasting the play queue. I think it could be ladder. I think it has some potential, especially with Tyvar in there. Sheoldred's Edict in there. I mean, when you start thinking about the ladder, you have to think, what are the most popular deck lists that I'm going to go up against? It's going to be Azorius Soldiers. So how does our deck do against them? I mean, they have removal out the, you know, they have a lot of removal. They have ways of just... I like this hand. We're on the draw. We've got our card draw. We can tutor up Tyvar. I was just saying. We can tutor up another Rotpriest, which is honestly the better play in most instances. Keeping. We're up against Slick. Let's see. Slick is Slick. We have enough mana. They could have a fight spell, but that would mean that they would target us. So they're playing Rotpriest Ivy? Oh, we drew our second Rotpriest. Insane. That means they have a counter spell. Pay 2. So hiding our Golgari nature seems like a good play. Should we let them counter the Rotpriest? We just pass? Let's just pass. They're gonna target their own Rotpriest on their end step for sure. No, they didn't. They wanted to leave that counterspell up. Okay, their counterspell is totally gone now. Which means... But they have the bloated contaminator. We need an answer. We're about to get contaminated. And we don't have any poison counters on the board. So Infectious Inquiry gives us that. Gives us some cards. If there are a bunch of land cards on top of our deck, we want to get through those. So let's go for it. We drew a bunch of protection. We have no mana to play it, but okay, here comes the Contaminator, no blocks. Toxic 1, 4 damage. We took damage from our Infectious Inquiry. Okay, they're gonna proliferate us now too. And they've even got a targeting spell on their Rotpriest, I would bet. Okay, so here's where Sheoldred's Edict kind of falls flat. Because if we cast this now, they're just going to sacrifice the Vorak, obviously. So it's not that fantastic. We are going to play out a Swamp, because that's all we've got. We have 3 poison counters, so we are fully corrupted. Sheoldred's Edict is so good, but in this case, it's not. We can tutor something? No, that leaves us unprotected. Let's play out another Rotpriest. They do not have counter magic available to them, so that seems like a good play. Now we have protection for both Rotpriests. This is a touch and go situation. Are we gonna dig up another land just to thin the deck? I don't think so. We can do Tyvar's Stand. That doesn't really help us unless we're blocking the Vorak, which is fine. We're not going to do Inquiry because we can't even lay a land down. That would leave us unprotected. So we end the turn, see what Slick thinks. Uh-oh. Well, we do have removal that doesn't target. Unfortunately, I mean, if we can get... Okay, if they attack with the Vorak now, which they're not going to do. We're about to go to 5. And there's nothing we can do about it. They have not played Ivy yet. And we're down to 10. I mean, are we going to die from poison or are we just going to die from damage? This is actually a very good test for this list because we're playing against the main meta Rotpriest deck, Ivy. And we're playing this variant, which I actually prefer because Ivy is just, you know, dies to removal. Everything dies to removal. We could gain some life. Oh, we could do a Shieldred's Edict. That would get rid of the Vorak. Let's try and combine the Shieldred's Edict. Let's corrupt them. They could have the hard counter. Let's make them have it. We need the life. You know, they can counter our life gain, but they can't counter the triggers. I don't know what they're thinking. They're thinking about doing the same thing. Oh, snap. Okay, I think we just died. Yep. We died. Okay. Well. It's meta. It's good. It's very good. And just so we're clear, if we had targeted, well, we wouldn't target, but if we had tried to get rid of their creatures, one of their creatures using the Vorak, then they would have still been able to cast the March. They did tap out, which means this was their, you know, Hail Mary. If so, we had 2 mana left, and that's what they were looking at. So they knew they had 2 triggers, so that would put them to 5. And then that would put them, if I, you know, cast that, that would put them to 9. But I didn't have it. We didn't have it. We didn't have another target. And that's what they were banking on. Because, you know, maybe if I were them, I wouldn't have done it then. Because technically, if we had had, like, that Undying Malice, and we were able to target, we would have, all of our triggers would have gone onto the stack after theirs, and they would have been dead. So, for them to do it like that, I don't know that they understand the stack as well as we do, with 2 Rotpriests out and 2 open mana, I mean, by casting this Tamiyo Safekeeping onto this Rotpriest, well, wait a minute, why did I say 4? Oh, that's embarrassing. There's only been 2. Oh yeah, no. It was me! I don't understand the stack! No, I understand the stack. Yeah, we had the potential to get them to 5. And if that was, you know, if that open mana was some kind of targeting spell, we could have got them to 7. So they did right. Congratulations, Slick. You did good. And that concludes the video. So we're in play queue. So not a definitive look at the deck, but had some fun, was able to showcase the deck. Went up against the mirror. They were on the play. They had the superior draw. We scooped. Went up against 2 other decks and completely roasted them. And then went up against the main Rotpriest meta deck with Ivy. Ivy never even hit the battlefield for them. They were still able to get going on that. Maybe, you know, maybe that's a sign. Maybe you can play Simic Rotpriest without Ivy. Like, get rid of Ivy and put Bloated Contaminator in? Doesn't seem that bad, does it? So, that concludes the video. Everyone out there consuming this content is excellent. The response has been fantastic. We are RetroMTGA.